Have you joined the fastest growing fantasy motorsports app yet? On Grid Rival, you can join leagues with your friends and manage your own fantasy team on what race fans are calling, hands down, the best fantasy motorsport app out there. F1 and MotoGP leagues are now live for the 2021 season. Joining a league on Grid Rival will make every race more exciting, more engaging, and of course, more competitive. Download Grid Rival now on your iPhone or Android smartphone. Grid Rival is an unofficial application and not associated with Formula One, MotoGP or any of their athletes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very, very special night here on the National Racing Network. Tonight, the stars and cars of the Grid Rival ESRA INDYCAR series will take on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Welcome, everybody, to the world's greatest race course. My name is Chris Graham. It is a pleasure to have you hanging out with us here tonight. Practice has just concluded, qualifications just getting underway. Quickest driver in practice, not out on the racetrack just yet, but we'll pick up James Watson here running a throwback Sebastian Kinder livery. Biggest field by far this season for the Grid Rival ESRA IndyCar Series, 25 cars. Let's tell you about the weather conditions tonight here at the Speedway, presented by our friends at the Weather Center. Offensively accurate weather for eastern Pennsylvania. 73-degree ambient temperature. Wind pretty much non-existent, but a track temperature of 116 degrees. That is absolutely going to come into play here, as these cars are going to be slipping and sliding here around the Brickyard. But throw a little bit of cloud cover over any one of these corners, and it will make things exceedingly difficult for the drivers. We'll pick up Chris Wilhite, who has just gone top of the speed charts. .434 seconds. 228.229 miles per hour. The time for Charles Teed, who goes to the top of the charts. Wilhite going to bump down to second. Eric Schaus third quick. Jim Brooks, Benjamin Combs, your top five. J.W. Miller jumping up to sixth quick on the board, 39.508 seconds. New quick time, top of the board, Nick Degroot, 39.415 seconds. 228.339 miles per hour. Craig Forsyth has gotten his first lap in the books, and he goes second quick at a 39.424. 228.287 miles per hour. These lap times are going to be very, very close. These are fixed setup cars, and they are going to be very evenly matched here this evening. Going to make the racing exciting, that is for sure. Forsyth going to dive down onto the pit lane. Pick up the 63 of A.J. Hobson, coming around to complete his qualification run, 39.477. The lap time there, but Matt Wagner, very quick. Oh, if he doesn't hit, he did. He got the outside wall. Matt Wagner going to lose what had the potential to be an exceedingly quick lap. He was quickest on half the race course. Follow along with Connor Baldwin. Baldwin was fastest in the practice session. That number 19, Baldwin Agriland, Aero Info machine going to come down. Lap number one, new quick time, top of the board, 39.412 seconds, 228.357 miles per hour for Connor Baldwin. Baldwin working lap number two. he could potentially, he's 0.003 off of his lap time from the last time around. See what he can do here on lap number 2, down the home stretch and across the yard of bricks. Lap number 2 in the books for Connor Baldwin. And it is just a tick slower, 39.522 seconds. See Matt Wagner jumping up to 5th quick as he comes around to finish his qualification run. Matt Wagner's lap time, 39.439 seconds. 228.201. But Connor Baldwin will be your pole sitter for tonight's race. This one is going to be a lot of fun to watch here. The other interesting thing that's going to develop over the course of this race is pit strategy. Let's get you a look here at the starting grid. 25 cars deep in this one. Connor Baldwin and Nick Degroot going to occupy row number 1. Craig Forsyth and Charles Teed on row 2. Matt Wagner, Chris Wilhite on row number 3. AJ Hobson, Eric Schaus on row 4. Jim Brooks, Benjamin Combs, row number 5. Row 6, Lee Huber and J.W. Miller. Row 7, Navarre Luce and Victor Aldrich. You have to go back to 14th place, Victor Aldrich, to find 1/10 of a second in this qualification field. Alec Coates, Sebastian Kinder on row number 8. Seb making a guest appearance tonight in the Grid Rival ESRA INDYCAR Series, getting the week off from university studies, and he's going to choose to spend part of it here. Gary Corley, Cullen Johnston on row number 9. James Watson, TJ McMurray on row 10. A little bit of a surprise to see these two guys back there, but you look at it, it's only 0.2 of a second. Zach Evans, Jason Hand on row number 11. Row 12, Mike Barry and Jeff Destino. All alone, row number 13 will be Ty Richter. He has an EOL penalty to serve following last week's race. Let's see if we can't get a very quick word in here with Connor Baldwin. Connor, congratulations on picking up another Grid Rival ESRA IndyCar Series pole award. Can you keep that thing at the front all night now?
That is certainly the plan. I think this race setup has a lot of downforce in it, so I think it'll be really close racing for a lot of the race here.
What are your thoughts on the strategy games that may play out here? Can you make this a 2-stop or 3-stop race, or are you going to plan for the 4-stopper and kind of see where things come?
I'm going to plan for the 4-stop because I just like to keep the pedal to the metal the entire time and lead laps.
All right, bud. Good luck here tonight. Thank you very much. And yeah, there you go. There's Connor Baldwin. If you can make it a 20, the stints have been anywhere from 22 to 23 laps. If you can get to 25, it's a very easy 3-stop race. 25, 50, 75, you're done. However, if you can make it 22 laps, you get a caution at lap number 12. That opens up the window to get you to the end of the race. If you can make it 24 laps, you can stop as early as lap 4 and potentially make it on the 4 stops. We'll talk about as the race is going on, but now, race fans, the start of the Grid Rival ESRA IndyCar Series at the Brickyard. It's going to be all yours. Oh, we've got big trouble back in the pack. Trouble for Lee Huber. That will put us under the yellow flag early on in this one. bring up the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. See what happened here. Huber getting it loose off of turn number 1. Slides down to the infield, makes contact with the inside retaining wall. Huber definitely without a front wing. And oh yeah, that car big time banged up. The whole left side of that machine, the AlphaTauri, going to be jacked up, and that is what will put us under the first caution flag of the race. This already gets into playing some of the strategy games here, because this early caution flag absolutely means these drivers can make lap number 25. The question becomes, are you going to get enough yellow to make it a 3-stop race? In order for this strategy play to work, you're going to have to be getting a yellow in each of the race segments as we go along here. I can almost assuredly say we will not see anybody come down pit road this time unless they are at the absolute back of the field. It just doesn't make sense. Even with the pace lap, you just haven't burned enough fuel off yet to make the strategy call worth it. Now, field's got to get everybody. Oh, man, James Watson thought about coming in. Looks like we will have a couple of takers here coming down pit road. Mike Barry, Cullen Johnston, Jason Hand, all going to come in here. Let's pick up Mike Barry. Get the look here at the 64 as he makes his way into his box. Again, these are going to be very, very short pit stops. Mike Barry stationary for only 3.6 seconds. Jason Hand, a 5-second stop, 5.7 for Cullen Johnston. Lee Huber, obviously, is going to have some, we'll say, more significant damage to repair here. So we'll show you the race info here. Get that up for you so you can follow along with where your favorite driver is. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from. Hopefully you are enjoying the show here this evening. Since the lights are on the iRacing safety car, we're going to run the quick commercial break here on Twitch and YouTube. And we will be back here in just a moment. All right, everybody, welcome back here. Lap number 4, lights are out on the iRacing safety car. We are going back to green flag racing. Connor Baldwin will lead over Nick Degroot, Charles Teed, Craig Forsyth, and Chris Wilhite. Seeing Surf Gonzo checking in here on Twitch, rooting for my brother Vic. Let's go. Well, good luck tonight, Vic Aldrich. Pace car is going to come in. When does Connor Baldwin decide to go? He holds the brake just a little bit. Green flag's out. We're back underway. Baldwin going to get a good restart. Did stack the field up a little bit. Nothing too big. Baldwin will easily lead into turn number 1. So field working at lap number 5 of 100. Here comes Nick Degroot down to the inside. Battle for the race lead. It'll be Nick Degroot into 3. Both cars slide up the racetrack just a little bit. That's going to bring Charles Teed into the play here as well. Nick Degroot will lead lap number 5. Lead change number 1. Baldwin right back to the inside in turn 1. We may see a lot of this over the course of this race. Yellow is out for the second time. Caution here on lap number 6. And looks like maybe Navarre Loose having an issue. Take a look here. Loose running all by him, lonesome. Oh, big time into the wall. Huge hit. Wow, that was a monster hit for Navarre Loose. Slides right back through the field. That puts us under the caution flag for the second time here this evening. Loose obviously has to take the tow back into the pit area. Drivers do have one backup car available to them. So a couple of lead changes so far tonight. Nick Degroot taking the lead on lap number 6. Connor Baldwin picking the lead right back up here on lap number 7. Now the 2 early caution flags. Again, this starts to play into the strategy games a little bit. The more laps we run under caution, the closer this becomes to a straight 3-stop race. I would say if you were looking at stopping at about lap 22, that kind of opens up some options here. You're going to have to get more laps, as many laps under caution as you possibly can here. The 2 incidents so far should save you about 5 laps or so. We'll say maybe 6. That gets you out to lap 28. You're still not close enough to splitting the race into thirds yet, which is really what you have to do if you're going to take that 3-stop strategy game here. TJ McMurray leading a parade of cars down onto the pit lane. We'll cover the stop for the Mediocre Motorsports number 48. This will be a little bit longer of a stop this time, 5.42 seconds for McMurray. Not sure that anybody will be taking tires yet. Cullen Johnston down and away, 5.9 seconds. Mike Barry, 8.28 seconds. He's going to be the first one off of pit road. Let's see if we can't sneak a quick word here in under caution with Sebastian Kinder, pilot of the number 97. Seb, welcome back to the Grid Rival ESRA IndyCar series here. How's the car feeling, and what are you thinking strategy-wise here now?
The car, okay, so we didn't have a lot of race laps on those racing conditions with that huge pack, so from practice it felt really good. I would say they did a great job with that setup. My strategy, I don't know, with all those cautions, we're saving so much fuel that it can actually make this very interesting, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's one of those. I would imagine you're probably pretty close to this being a 3-stop race at this point. Does that kind of change your mental calculus driving the car of, I have to settle this down, I want to try to save a little, or are you just still balls to the wall the whole way?
Chris, I only have one strategy in mind, is do as fast as I can. Saving, I'm not as good as some of those guys in there and I know my sister, when she heard that, she's like, "Oh, Seb, you shut your mouth." And no, that's just I'm not as efficient as them for now. So, yeah, we'll see. I'll keep my hand and play when the chips fold. And okay, my poker analogy was completely destroyed.
Well done there, buddy. Well, thank you very much for checking in with us. We appreciate it here. Lights are going out on the iRacing safety car. So we're going to go back to green flag racing here. It'll be lap number 10. I would imagine these drivers are probably pretty close that they can make it to lap 30 at this point. You figure, put the car in fuel map 8, a lot of clutch and coast. Some drivers will even be able to shut the car off and turn it back on. That really sort of changes the calculus on this, because like we said, the closer you get to lap 30 that you have to stop, then it becomes 25 lap stint, and you can pretty easily make this the rest of the way. Navarre Luce does appear to be out of the race. That car looks like it's completed its tow back into the pits. But Luce going to be scored in the 25th position. Lee Huber, the only other car 1 lap down. Reason for the caution on lap number 1. The iRacing safety car is back in, and what the hey, we didn't give you a full lap of this. Let's give you a chance here to crank it up. There is nothing better than the sights and sounds of IndyCar screaming around the world's greatest race course. Lead change, turn number 1, Nick Degroot inside of Connor Baldwin. He gets the pass completed. Good battle back in the pack here a little bit as well. James Watson, Gary Corley, Vic Aldrich all battling. Baldwin back to the inside of Nick Degroot. He'll take the lead into 3. Just past the start-finish line, Nick Degroot back around Connor Baldwin. They'll continue to swap the lead here at the front of the field. Pretty good battles here throughout the pack. Baldwin back to the inside. We're seeing 2 lead changes a lap, but none of them are being scored as official lead changes, because it's been Connor Baldwin leading at the line every time they come past the start-finish line. Degroot going to have the poke out. That one's going to score at the line. Man, that'll be fun to watch as we get late in this race. You can make the pass down the home stretch off of turn number 4. Baldwin right back around Degroot. Nobody else really battling here. Everybody's settled in. This is starting to feel like it may be a little bit of a fuel mileage race that these drivers are thinking of now. If you went clean and green, it was going to be really hard to get 25 laps out of a tank of fuel. Right now, if you can run it in map 2, maybe even map 3, and stay in the draft, you really could make this a 3-stop race from this point, or at least it's going to be very close to it. Something that we haven't considered yet is the time limit that is applicable to this race. We shouldn't hit it. However, we'll show you that one in full here. 1 hour and 40 minutes is the time limit on the race here this evening. Already 16 minutes and change into this one. 16 and a half as they come by the start-finish line this time. Top 10 all still really much in line. In fact, top 11 all the way back to Alec Coates. Then you go back 1.4 seconds to Sebastian Kinder battling with J.W. Miller. These cars fighting for 12th. You have a small pack of cars here. Then you go back another 1.3 seconds to find Vic Aldrich. The cars that are absolutely playing the strategy games right now, Ty Richter, Jeff Destino, both stopping at lap number 3. Mike Barry, TJ McMurray, Cullen Johnston, Jason Hand, all stopping at lap number 8. Kinder now pulling away just a little bit from J.W. Miller. Things staying tight at the front. Still Connor Baldwin leading Nick Degroot over Charles Teed, Craig Forsyth, and Chris Wilhite. Wilhite going to have the look down to the inside of Forsyth. Thinks better of it. Gets back in line. Top 5 going to stay right where they are. The other thing we're noticing is if you get everybody together in a line, you can make a gap on cars. Matt Wagner sitting about a half second back. Then you have to go another half second to find Eric Schaus. This top 5 could start to put some pretty solid distance between themselves and the rest of the pack if they're able to stay in line and not be swapping the lead back and forth. Every time you jump out of line, it's like you put a big old parachute out there. Charles Teed having a look inside of Nick Degroot in turn number 1. He's got to bail out of that. That was gutsy. New fast lap of the race belongs to J.W. Miller, 40.70 seconds. That lap speed, 221.119 miles per hour for J.W. Miller that last time by. Side by side, A.J. Hobson battling with Eric Schaus. Schaus taking the dominant win 1 week ago, leading every lap at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. That was not much of a race at all. James Watson having a good run to come home second there. Matt Wagner holding on to third, which puts us in a point situation of Wagner leading by 26 points over J.W. Miller. It's another 17 back to James Watson in third. Lee Huber fourth in points, 25 back of James Watson, 68 back of the leader. Charles Teed back to fifth in points. Not what Huber wanted to see, though, with currently a 24th place run after the lap 1 incident. Pick up Matt Wagner, your current points leader, carrying the number 1, trying to win a second consecutive Grid Rival ESRA INDYCAR Series Championship. Now you wonder when Connor Baldwin is going to have to stop. The yellows may have played out in his favor. He said it in the pre-race. He's not a big fan of the strategy games and fuel saving, and he just wants to put the hammer down and go. The two cautions that we've had really open up the possibility of that strategy coming into play. I want to welcome back those of you on Twitch getting through the automated and, quite frankly, unavoidable ads on the Twitch feed. Let us know where you're watching from tonight. We'll get the comments up on the screen here for you. Almost to the one-quarter distance mark here at the world's greatest racecourse. Connor Baldwin holding the lead over Nick Degroot, Charles Teed, Craig Forsyth, and Chris Wilhite. Some of these drivers have to worry about the point standings. Others very much do not. Connor Baldwin, yeah, he wants to have a good night in points, but he's 75 back of Matt Wagner and not going to be running the entire season. He wants the wins. That's what he's out here for. Same for Nick Degroot, who runs second. Charles Teed, who's third, currently sitting fifth in points, and he lost 2 spots after last week's race at Spa. Alec Coates, Vic Aldrich, 6th and 7th. Ty Richter, Eric Schaus. As Schaus is another driver, has not run the entire season, and I don't think is going to run the entire season. Schaus has 3 starts, 2 wins, all 3 of his races run inside the top 5. Looking at the battle for the 4th position, Craig Forsyth, Chris Wilhite sitting nose to tail wing. Here's when the theoretical pit window will open up. However, with the yellows, we'll see where everybody's going to get to now. Lap times now down to 41.3. .918 miles per hour. The driver's losing a lot over the course of the runs here. Best lap of the race, still J.W. Miller. It's the battle for the race lead, picking up once again Nick Degroot, coming around Connor Baldwin. Oh, and here comes Baldwin down pit lane. This is a bit of a surprise here. Baldwin makes his way into the pits for his first stop of the race. Little bit surprising that we're seeing this at lap number 27. Tells me that he didn't get as much fuel saved as, quite frankly, as he may have wanted to. Oh, and he overshoots the pit box as well. Connor Baldwin down and away, 8.78 seconds. Time of the stop. he should come out, I mean, barely ahead of your race leaders. He's not going to be ahead by much. But what the stop has done is put everybody into the hypothetical Paul Tracy danger zone. They would now have to stop, and Baldwin is going to cycle right back around to the front of the field. And he is pulling away a little bit from this group as well. 39.5 seconds total time here. Let's pick up James Watson making his way down pit road. Zach Evans, Ty Richter, Vic Aldrich, Jeff Destino all stopping here on lap number 28. Watson hits his marks, cars up in the air. He will be down and away, 8.55 seconds for 4 Firestone Firehawks, the full tank of Speedway Racing fuel. Almost identical stop time for Victor Aldrich. Nick Degroot making his way onto pit road. He's going to be joined by Eric Schaus, Jim Brooks, Alec Coates, and Sebastian Kinder. That's going to move Charles Teed up to the race lead. Degroot down and away, 8.68 seconds, the time of the stop. Here comes Charles Teed off of turn number 4. He's going to be coming with Matt Wagner. Excuse me, AJ Hobson. Benjamin Combs, J.W. Miller also coming in this time at lap number 30. This is where things are getting very, very interesting. The difference between stopping at lap 27 and stopping at lap 31 or 32 is going to be absolutely huge for some of these cars. As Teed hits his box, cars up on the jacks. Hobson, Combs, and Miller also in their pit boxes. 8.27 seconds, time of the stop for Charles Teed. Hobson down and away, 8.65. Here comes Chris Wilhite, Craig Forsyth, and Matt Wagner making their way down the pit road for their first stops of the night at lap number 31. That will promote Mike Barry into the race lead. TJ McMurray, Cullen Johnston. All cars that stopped at lap number 8. Jason Hand also has not stopped since his third pit stop at lap number 8. Wilhite down and away, 8.78 seconds. See where Nick Degroot is going to go here. As Degroot coming around some of these cars making their way off of pit lane. Nick Degroot will come out with the race lead, and he's going to come out pretty far ahead of Connor Baldwin. Degroot's time on pit lane, 37.65 seconds. Baldwin, 39.55, full 2 seconds. Connor Baldwin lost on and off of pit road, basically. Jason Hand making his stop after a 24-lap stint. Taking a look at some of the hypotheticals here for Jason Hand. He stopped at lap number 8, also stopping at lap number 32. That makes it a 24-lap stint for that car. He would be looking at stops again on lap 57 and lap number 81. Still in the window of a 4-stint strategy here. So it's going to be very, very interesting to watch how the pit strategy games are going to play out here. AJ Hobson setting a new fastest lap of the race, 8.668 seconds. .304 miles per hour. Cullen Johnston, TJ McMurray making their way down now. Now, granted, that included a little bit of caution time, but they were able to get 26 laps out of that tank of fuel. So now Mike Barry making his way down the pit lane. That will hand the lead of the race over to Nick Degroot, but here comes Chris Wilhite down the front straightaway. New race leader at the line, Chris Wilhite. Third different driver to lead in tonight's Grid Rival ESRA IndyCar Series battle at the Brickyard. Craig Forsyth, new fastest lap, 40.582. Really taking advantage of the draft. That lap, 221.773 miles per hour. Charles Teed right behind him, also setting a personal best that last time by. Top 6 cars, all within 1.5 seconds. Everybody else at least a 1.5 seconds back. Eric Schaus, 1.3 seconds. And running alone, Jim Brooks a full 2 seconds back of where Schaus is running. That next group includes Matt Wagner, Alec Coates, Benjamin Combs, Sebastian Kinder. Got to go another 3 seconds back then to find J.W. Miller in the 13th position as Nick Degroot comes back around to the inside. Makes the pass on the entry to turn number 3. See if he can hold it all the way to the start-finish line, though. He does not. Chris Wilhite, in fact, had him by, we'll say, about half a car length. A.J. Hobson taking the best lap of the race, over 222 miles an hour to a 222.414 that last time by, as Nick Degroot once again heads off for the race lead. Slide back here, show you the battle with Matt Wagner and Alec Coates. Wagner was all over the rear wing of Coates in turn number 1. Big push off the corner. That's going to force him back and having to defend from Benjamin Combs. And for some of these drivers, there's just no incentive to race real hard yet. Not even to the halfway point in this one. Chris Wilhite once again coming back around Nick Degroot down the front straightaway. Taking a look at some of your comers and goers tonight. Hard charger of the race thus far is Mike Barry. He's got the number 64 up to the 16th position. That is a gain of 7 on the night. Alec Coates up to 9th. That is a gain of 6. Chris Wilhite is up 4 to run in 2nd. Lee Huber and Navarre Luce, the drivers that have had the biggest struggles so far this evening. Huber down 13 positions to run in 24th. Navarre Luce out of the race down 12 after only 5 laps completed. Oh, see trouble on the racetrack for Zach Evans. Caution flag will fly here at lap number 41. Keep your eye on that green car here right at the front. Oh, man. Just pitched into the outside wall. Wow. Not sure who that was behind him, but my goodness, what a save. Heartbreaker, though, for Zach Evans. He has to take the tow back into the pit lane. And as we pick up race leader Nick Degroot, drivers are 12 laps into the stint. You would tend to think that they're going to come in for the pit stop here. You would think so, at least. Now, if you're one of the drivers that stopped very late in the run, Cullen Johnston, TJ McMurray, maybe you stay out. I would imagine Mike Barry is going to stay on the pit lane, or stay off the pit lane, I should say. And yeah, it looks like we are going to see everybody make their way down pit lane. Well, maybe not. Degroot tried to sell everybody on the dummy. It doesn't work. So we'll follow your race leaders as they come down the pit lane. In fact, just about everybody coming in this time, except for Cullen Johnston, Ty Richter staying out on the racetrack. Stops here at lap number 42. This is where the strategy call to me is very interesting. If you go the theoretical maximum of 25 laps, it still only gets you to lap number 92 when you make your next to last pit stop at lap 67. So there will be some definitive fuel saving going on. And for drivers like Cullen Johnston and Ty Richter, especially Cullen Johnston, here at the front of the field, that mediocre motorsports number 9, he really didn't have much to lose here. He stopped at lap number 34. It got exactly the strategy call that he was hoping for. In fact, let's see if we can find him to talk to Cullen here. Cullen, the strategy call looks like it may have worked out for you, at least at this stage of the race. You stopped at lap 34. Caution comes out, puts you right up to the head of the field.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stay out here, run it till it's dry, and then try the hopefully pit one less time than they're pitting going into the pits here.
Yeah, that's sort of what it looks like. I mean, our math says you are going to be very, very close to making it to the end of this race. Is that kind of now where you're in this mentality of you have to run till you're dry every time, though?
I'm not sure. I think I'm actually a little bit better than I thought I'd be because I was sitting behind some cars and then I was in fuel map 5 for a while, so I was only sipping gas on that prior run.
Well, yeah. Look, quite frankly, the numbers look pretty darn spectacular to me from where I'm sitting. So good luck the rest of the way here. Bud, lights are out. Good luck.
Yep, thank you.
So there you go. There's Cullen Johnston. He's happy as a clam right now. Our math here in the booth says Cullen Johnston stop at lap 34. It's going to set him up for a pit stop at lap number 59. Then it would be one final stop at lap 84, and that's going to get him not only to lap 100, to lap 109, which is very important because that will give him enough fuel to last for the green-white checker finish, if there is one that comes late in this race. The difference is when you're out in front, you are not saving nearly as much fuel as you could be back in the pack. iRacing safety car makes the hard left-hand turn. Green flag going to go back in the air. As we go back to green, y'all can go ahead and crank it up. Oh, we've got one car hard into the outside retaining wall. I believe that's Connor Baldwin. Huge hit for Connor Baldwin. That car absolutely junked down to the inside of the racetrack. That will put us under the 4th caution of the race. Take a look and see. Connor Baldwin up on the outside. Car just got a little bit loose. Oh, man, how did nobody else hit that race car? Tough break for Connor Baldwin. That car sat on the pole very, very quick. Just got a little bit loose. In fact, let's go on board here with Connor Baldwin. Car just twitched a little bit loose, and that was all she wrote. Now, Baldwin will have the backup car available. He has to get this thing limped around and not go a lap down in the process. But Connor Baldwin might not be in the worst possible spot here. He's going to be ending up stopping here at lap number 46. Figure he comes in every time for fuel. He's kind of in that same boat. He could be down to one less stop than everybody else. He just has to not lose the lap. He's got to hit the marks cleanly here. Take the quick repair and nothing only. And nothing else, I should say. Oh, but he's going to slide it into the box. He's got to back it up. And that's about all she wrote. Connor Baldwin going to go a lap down, trying to get that car into his pit box. There's the backup car coming out. Unfortunately for Connor Baldwin, he is going to tag in, and he will be one lap down to the race leaders. Mike Barry and Lee Huber also making pit stops here under the caution flag. And the creative pit strategies there for Mike Barry and Lee Huber. Both of those cars having big impacts with the safer barriers and retaining walls here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But both of those cars now back on the lead lap. So we have 22 cars on the lead lap right now. Connor Baldwin getting out just ahead of Barry and Huber. Now we'll see if anybody's going to elect to come down pit road this time. I wouldn't think they would. It wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to at this point in the race. let's talk to our defending series champion and the guy carrying the #1 here tonight, Matt Wagner, currently running in the 12th position. Matt, how does the car feel, and how are you feeling on your strategy call thus far as well?
Well, I probably should have pitted that this caution here, which is quite a bit of setback. Would have had a gallon more than these guys, and wouldn't have to think about fuel for the next stop. But overall, our strategy is pretty good. The car is handling very well. I had a little bit of miscue coming out of the pits there, and car started to feel kind of real loose all of a sudden. But once I got in the pit road, I don't know if I had a fast repair or not, but car feels pretty good right now. So we'll try and make our way to the front.
All right, buddy. Good luck. Thank you very much for checking in with us here. And, yeah, Matt's one of those guys, he's going to put a lot of thought into how he drives these races. Don't be surprised to see that car running up at the front here the deeper we get into this show. Lights are going to go out. We will go back to green flag racing as they put lap number 49 on the scoreboard. Cullen Johnston holding on to that lead over Ty Richter, Nick Degroot, Chris Wilhite, and Craig Forsyth, your top 5. Good restart for your top 3. Cullen Johnston going to tow Ty Richter off to turn 1. Nick Degroot did not get up to speed very quickly. Almost looked like he may have been in the wrong fuel map, but everybody stays single file, except for Ty Richter, who dives down to the inside. He'll claim the top spot away from Cullen Johnston, and that will bring Nick Degroot right back into the battle, along with Chris Wilhite. Wilhite sitting about 0.6 back as they get off at turn number 4. Cross flags up last time by the start-finish line. Cullen Johnston will be the race leader of record at the halfway point. Ty Richter, Nick Degroot, Chris Wilhite, Craig Forsyth still the top 5. 6 through 10, A.J. Hobson, Charles Teed, Eric Schaus, Benjamin Combs, and Jim Brooks. Hopefully y'all are enjoying the racing here. Give us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from or who's hanging out with us here. If you're watching on YouTube, we do have Super Chats and memberships available. And thank you, everybody that contributes to those. And same thing on Twitch. I forget what they're called. Nits or Nips or whatever they are. I think Nits. Nins something. We have those available on Twitch as well. Cullen Johnston pulling out a little bit of a gap here on Ty Richter. Side-by-side battle. Well, it was a side-by-side battle. Matt Wagner coming around Sebastian Kinder. The battle for the 12th position. Kinder now going to have to contend with J.W. Miller. Everybody being very well behaved right now. Following in behind your race leader, Cullen Johnston. Connor Baldwin really going to have to get some help here if he wants to get back on the lead lap. Matt Wagner thought about having a look on Alec Coates. He will. Maybe going to try to go 2 for 1, get Jim Brooks in the process. Not quite able to. Wagner has to run a little bit high in turn number 4. He's looking for some air. Here's Ty Richter making his way onto pit lane. So we'll cover the stop here for Ty Richter. Oh, Richter overshoots the box just a little bit. Matt Wagner getting around Jim Brooks as we follow the pit stop here for Ty Richter. He will be down and away. 8.2 seconds, the time of the stop. And Richter may be able to get out ahead of race leader Cullen Johnston, and he will. Oh, if he didn't get an unsafe pit exit penalty there. We'll have to see, but here comes your race leaders off of turn number 2. Cullen Johnston, Nick Degroot pulling away from Chris Wilhite. Coming up next on the National Racing Network, it will be the Indy Pro 2000 Championship from Bathurst. That one's going to be a ton of fun. I cannot wait to see that one. Ty Richter going to be good to go on one more stop. Expecting to see your race leaders in sometime between lap 63 and lap number 67. Quite frankly, everybody that stopped at the lap 42 caution, that's when we would expect to see them in. Cullen Johnston, who stopped at lap number 34, he's going to be another 4 to 5 laps or so before we see him on the pit lane. But again, he was big time in the draft before, and, well, quite frankly, not so much right now. Matt Wagner trying to get around Benjamin Combs here. Pickup race leader Cullen Johnston. As it stands right now, Cullen will come out behind Ty Richter. Not by much, but he looks like he will come out behind Richter. Assuming that kind of 39-second or so time on pit lane. In fact, the average about 39.5 seconds. Trouble on the racetrack for TJ McMurray. Looks like we will stay under green flag conditions, though. Let's get you the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. McMurray pushes up into the outside wall. Wow, huge hit. As we go back to the live look, race leader Cullen Johnston is on pit lane. Crew going to work on Cullen Johnston. He's down and away, 8.75 seconds. Going to be pretty tight here on where Cullen Johnston comes out in relation to Ty Richter. But it looks like he will come out just slightly ahead. I mean, they're going to be practically nose to tail here. Now Ty Richter getting around Cullen Johnston. However, both of these cars are on the lead lap, about a quarter of the racetrack ahead of where the race leaders are. Stop at lap number 62 for Cullen Johnston. Including the caution flags, that was a 28-lap stint for Cullen Johnston. Final stop of the race for Cullen, we would expect around lap number 87 or so. And again, that'll get him plenty of fuel to get to the end. The rest of your race leaders, pit window going to open up in another couple of laps. Charles Teed having a look on AJ Hobson. One of the cars out of the lead pack coming down pit road, that's Gary Corley. Corley will be making his third stop of the race. Matt Wagner still battling, trying to get around Benjamin Combs. You almost wonder if Matt Wagner's car hasn't developed a little bit of a push here, because he's having to run significantly higher than the rest of your race leaders. Maybe burn the tires off a little bit, trying to make some of these moves back towards the front, as Wagner does get around Benjamin Combs. Alec Coach Jim Brooks all going to be nose to tail there on the 27. Same for Alec Coates. He's really high up on the racetrack as well. It's Gary Corley going to come back out in the mid-pack, and he will be down one lap. Looking back up towards the front of the field, Nick Degroot has only a quarter of a second over Chris Wilhite, Craig Forsyth, AJ Hobson, Charles Teed, all of them right there. In fact, all the way back to 15th place, Lee Huber, all running in line right now. As the window is open for these drivers to make their next set of pit stops. Like we said, by our math, they're going to have to go 2 more stops from here. you're going to have to get to lap 75 to have a hope of making it on one more stop. So Cullen Johnston, Ty Richter may be sitting in the catbird seat here. Mike Barry as well. Not nearly as good. He stopped at lap number 47. That's only going to get him to about lap 72. Stretch the fuel number a little bit, get yourself to 75. Now you're right in the ballpark. But it's going to be interesting to see when these drivers elect to come in now. We're seeing 27 laps on the stint. They're getting close. They are getting very, very close. Jim Brooks battling with Sebastian Kinder and J.W. Miller. Kinder able to clear Brooks. Here comes Miller having to look to the inside. Big line of cars coming down pit road. Alec Coates, Benjamin Combs, Sebastian Kinder, James Watson, all coming at lap number 71. They got 29 laps. This stop should get them to the end of the race. From here, trying the undercut strategy. Because now, any caution flag, yeah, here comes Nick Degroot, your race leader. He's coming down pit road, as is J.W. Miller and Vic Aldrich. So both of those cars all going to be pitting together. Now, basically, everybody that's stopped is going to come out ahead of your race leaders if we get another caution flag. Degroot's in his box, as is Miller and Aldrich. Degroot down and away, 8.45 seconds, 8:42, the time of the stop for Miller. Vic Aldrich down and away, 8.72 seconds. Race leader still not coming. Here comes Eric Schaus, Matt Wagner, Jim Brooks, Lee Huber. Those four cars going to make their way down the pit lane. Very, very close to final stops of the race. If they can get the 30 laps out of the tank, which that included some caution flag laps, if, that's the big if, they can get enough to get to the end of the race from here, it's going to be tough. Charles Teed stays out on the racetrack. Great fuel save for the number 50. Craig Forsyth, Chris Wilhite, A.J. Hobson making their way down pit road. It will cycle Cullen Johnston and Ty Richter back to the race lead. The issue now for Johnston and Richter is they absolutely have to stop again. Everybody else may not have to. Charles Teed going to make his way down pit road. Here's Cullen Johnston, Ty Richter, and Nick Degroot coming around Craig Forsyth. Teed still making his way into his box. We saw stint lengths of 30 laps here, but there was so much caution help there with the back-to-back yellows. I'm not entirely positive that these drivers are going to be able to make it from here. Unless we're just going to go full clutch and coast. At this point, anybody that stops from here on out is guaranteed to make the end on fuel. We're at lap number 75 right now. In fact, the conclusion of lap 75 is coming up here. Somewhere between 81 and 87 is where Cullen Johnston and Ty Richter are going to have to come in. Really been a pretty clean race here thus far. 4 caution flags in total. Single car incidents, 4 of them for Lee Huber, Navarre Luce, Mike Barry, and then Connor Baldwin having an issue. All 4 of those cars making very, very big impacts. Drivers able to use the backup cars. They're back in the race. The only one that hasn't fully recovered is Connor Baldwin. He's still 2 laps down to the race leaders. Ty Richter hanging out in the draft to Cullen Johnston. Those cars just a couple of laps away from their final pit stops of the race. Seeing Brandon Ishkanian checking in on YouTube. Thank you very much for hanging out with us here, Brandon. If you like what you're watching, we'll give the video a like. Share it out whether you're watching us here on YouTube or on Twitch. We thank you very much for spending your Thursday night with us. Coming up next at 10:15 in the East will be the Indy Pro 2000 Championship from Bathurst. The Big Show, live real-world racing this weekend on the National Racing Network. The 100-lap battle at the Bull Ring at Airport Speedway for the 600 Micros. No support classes, all 600s, all the time, starting at about 4 o'clock. Oh, one car hard into the outside wall. Yellow flag is out, and that's Connor Baldwin. That will bring out the caution at lap number 80. See what happened here to Baldwin. Oh, man, car just twitched loose. That may have been some net code that put him into the outside wall, but puts us under the yellow flag. And, well, this is exactly what Craig Forsyth, Nick Degroot, Alec Coates, all these drivers wanted to see. That should put them good to the end on fuel. We'll see who elects to come down pit road. Because tires are also going to be very, very important here. Does anybody else come with Cullen Johnston and Ty Richter? Your top 2 are going to have to come in this time. Does anybody else come with them? Oh, man, it looks like everybody but Craig Forsyth, AJ Hobson, and Charles Teed are going to come down pit road. These drivers stopped at lap number 73 or 74. While these drivers get that last little splash of fuel, let's see if we can talk to our race leader here, Craig Forsyth. And Craig, I would imagine that caution is exactly what you wanted to see right about then.
It is the exact opposite of what I wanted to see. I had just made the check mark that I could go map 1 to the end. That's why I passed Nick.
So but you can get to the end here on fuel, though. That's the big thing. Now it's just going to be a matter of...
Yeah, now everyone else can too, though.
Well, yeah, I would say we'll we'll call it one of those that you've at least got a shot here to win this one. And really, that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, this is going to be 18 exciting laps, that's for sure.
All right, bud. Well, good luck the rest of the way here, and hopefully we're talking to you again at the end of this thing.
You betcha. Thanks, Chris.
There you go. Craig Forsyth, your race leader. I figured he would have wanted to see the caution because that would have been the number. What it sounds like was they could go to the end and everybody else was going to have to stop. Jeff Destino, Mike Barry also staying out on the racetrack. See if we'll chat here real quickly with Mike Barry as the lights go out on the iRacing safety car. And Mike, you came from the back of the pack. You're up 18 spots so far. You junked the thing early. You're now sitting top 5, and you're going to have a shot to win this thing.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better way to play out. I thought I was going to be – I was planning on trying to make it on one stop there. I was a little bit short coming in for on like lap 73 or something. I'm like, all right, just time to ride it out and hope to God we get a caution, and lo and behold. So, yeah, I think the beverage machine is actually going to be really strong coming onto this restart here.
All right, bud. Well, good luck here the rest of the way. We'll let you get ready for it, and hopefully we're talking to you again a little bit later on. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. There is no fuel saving going on at this point. Let's run down the field here as we get ready to go. Craig Forsyth, AJ Hobson, Charles T., Jeff Destino, Mike Barry, your top 5. Nick Degroot, Cullen Johnston, Ty Richter, Alec Coates, and Chris Wilhite round out the top 10. We still have 21 cars on the lead lap, and it is going to be 18 to go when we get down to the finish of this one. Check in the comments. Who's it going? There's got to be somebody talking here other than the spam bots, right? iRacing safety car makes the hard left-hand turn one last time tonight, race fans. You crank this restart up. Back onto the home stretch, Craig Forsyth going to hold on to the race lead. The hard charger right now, Mike Barry back up to 5th. Nick Degroot runs in 4th. Top 4 starting to hold on into a little bit of a group here. Ty Richter, Jeff Destino going to be battling along with Chris Wilhite. Wilhite really trying to get forward here. Also, Alec Coates, Sebastian Kinder going to be in that fight. Coates looks to the inside of Destino. We've got a big pack of cars developing just behind him as well. That's going to be Benjamin Combs, Cullen Johnston. James Watson also in the middle of that fight. You got to get while the getting's good. And the restarts are going to be the best time to go after the race lead. Top 4 starting to check out here on Mike Barry. Oh, and Charles Teed's in the wall. Charles Teed into the outside retaining wall off of turn number 2. We will stay. Nope, yellow flag is out now. Tough break for Charles Teed. There he is, getting up into the outside wall. Tweed with a little bit of a twitch, bounces it off the safer barrier, and that will put us under the caution flag again here for the 6th time this evening. And there wasn't much in that. Teed going to be able to keep the car on the racetrack, so he'll be able to get the repair and pull the backup car out, but he will restart from the 21st position. 22nd through 25th, all out of the race. Connor Baldwin will finish tonight in 22nd. TJ McMurray 21st, or 23rd, excuse me. Zach Evans 24th, and Navarre Luce in the 25th position. Shout out the hard chargers of the race. Ty Richter, who runs in the 5th position, up 20 spots from where he qualified tonight. Mike Barry is up 19. Jeff Destino up 17. We're not actually going to see Matt Wagner pit here. No, I didn't think so. Charles Teed will be coming down the pit lane, as is Vic Aldrich. Everybody's now good to the end on fuel. The question now becomes, who's going to go after it again? Nick Degroot is going to run 3rd on this restart. He has been spectacularly quick tonight. Does not look like we have Nick available to chat with. See if we can talk here real quick with AJ Hobson, currently running in the 2nd position. And AJ, I'll tell you what, brother, we haven't talked about you a ton here tonight, but you started up towards the front. You've kept the thing there all night. Not much more you can ask for than a shot to win with a handful to go.
Yeah, I think we're going to be good to go here on fuel, and just going to try to keep it clean till about 10 or 5 to go and go for the win.
Seems like the slingshot's going to be the order of the day. No state secrets or anything here, but are you going to have to make the pass coming into 3, or do you think you can get it done off of 4?
I think you could do it going into 1 even, and maybe hold the line down the backstretch, but I'm not going to want to try to make the move going into 4. I think that might be too late here. So I think turn 3 would be a better option out of those 2.
All right, bud. Well, good luck the rest of the way here. We're looking forward to a hell of a show here to wrap this up.
We'll give you one.
There you go. There's AJ Hobson. Lights are out. We are getting ready to go back to green flag racing. An absolutely jam-packed Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Seeing the stars and cars of the grid rival ESRA INDYCAR series. Before we go back to the live race here. Let's give them the big sponsor shout out here as the field makes their way down the backstretch. Grid Rival, find them on your favorite app store, Google Play, the Apple App Store. It is a free fantasy game for F1 and MotoGP. Just announced a major funding increase. They're going to be doing some daily fantasy, live wagering, real money wagering for 2022, and some additional series to come. Check them out online. Find our friends over at Grid Rival. Thank you very much for your support of the Grid Rival ESRA INDYCAR series. This is it, buddy. Everything we want to see. A pile of iRacing IndyCar Series Dallara IR18s making their way off at turn number 4. 21 cars on the lead lap. We'll see how many of those 21 have a shot at the win. Craig Forsyth really backing the field up. A little bit of the Colton Herta school of restarts here. Field starting to stack up a little bit. Forsyth really bringing them down slow. In fact, they are way out of line, about mid-pack. Finally, Forsyth gets on the grass. Green flag goes back in the air. We are underway. I don't know about that restart. We'll see if race control has anything to say about it, but down to 12 to go. It could be a 3-car shootout. Mike Barry cannot lose the draft if he wants a shot at this thing. A.J. Hobson trying to make the move. He's going to have to look outside. Forsyth dips it almost down to the white line, down the back straightaway. Here comes Nick Degroot on the outside. Degroot tries to go 2 for 1 in turn 3, only able to clear A.J. Hobson. Hobson now going to slide high. Here comes Nick Degroot down to the inside of Craig Forsyth. He'll pick up the race lead once again out of turn number 1. Hobson now kind of in the same boat. He cannot lose the draft. Going to get a little bit of help here. Here comes Craig Forsyth looking back for the lead down the back straightaway. Top 6 all within 1.2 seconds of the race lead. They may settle it among themselves as you got to go another 2.25 seconds back to Alec Coates. Degroot has the look down the front straightaway. He got the pass done before the line, 10 to go. Forsyth now back around Degroot down the back straightaway. Chris Wilhite battling with Ty Richter. That's the fight for the 5th position. Wilhite able to clear Richter. Degroot back around Forsyth. He'll claim the lead into turn 1 with 9 to go. Wilhite up to the outside of the racetrack. He's trying to get around Mike Barry. Big bizzle there from Mike Barry on Chris Wilhite. Wilhite once again going to have the look down to the inside as the battle for the race lead changes hands once again. Barry able to keep the speed up on the outside of the racetrack. He holds on to 4th. The lead going to continue to swap hands. And is A.J. Hobson sitting in the catbird seat? He's going to have to hold off Chris Wilhite, who has managed to clear Mike Barry. Leaders continuing to duel down the back straightaway. A green-white checkered is available if needed. Here comes Wilhite. He thought about the look around the outside. That is such a gutsy pass around this racetrack. But if you can make the line work, and it looks like Wilhite can, nobody's anticipating that pass coming to the outside. Hobson dips down, trying to get the draft of Nick Degroot. Now it's going to be 4 cars battling for the lead. Oh, they're almost making contact. What a pass by Wilhite outside of turn number 1. Holy cow, show you that pass. Chris Wilhite on A.J. Hobson down to the outside of turn number 1. Hobson got a little bit loose. Wilhite kept his foot in it. Now it could be a 3-car battle for the win. Don't count out Chris Wilhite. Wilhite making up a ton of ground, running that outside lane through turn number 1. He's going to do it again through turn 2. May have to go with the dance partner, though. Let the leaders swap the lead, but you got to get the big toe. He's going to be right there on Nick Degroot as they get into 3. Five to go with the world's greatest race course. A.J. Hobson getting back into the fight. Mike Barry not going anywhere either. Degroot back around Forsyth into 1. Wilhite continuing to make that outside lane work. What a battle this is going to be to the end of this one. Forsyth back to the inside. Wilhite now going to run the inside lane. Degroot tried to block the line off. Degroot now going to run that outside lane that Wilhite had been running. Forces Wilhite down to the inside to get some air on the front of that car. Here comes Degroot and Wilhite down to the inside. They may both get past Craig Forsyth into 1. Degroot's there. He clears. Wilhite not able to clear Forsyth. In fact, loses a couple of car lengths as they get off the corner. So long as they keep trading the lead like this, though, it is allowing Chris Wilhite the chance to catch right back up. They'll separate out by a couple of car lengths, and then Wilhite is right back on the rear wing when the leaders go side by side. Over the yard of bricks to put lap number 98 on the scoreboard. Nick Degroot will be your race leader off of turn number 1. Will he be the leader into turn number 3? Yellow is out. Caution is on the speedway. Trouble on the racetrack, and it looks like it's Sebastian Kinder and Matt Wagner having an issue. Oh, and we are going to overtime. Let's take a look and see what happened here. Matt Wagner and Sebastian Kinder. Oh, maybe a little bit of net code there, but those cars both make hard contact with the outside safer barrier. Tough break for Sebastian Kinder and a huge blow to Matt Wagner. Wagner just got a little bit loose. See both cars slide through the short chute. Everybody able to avoid down to the inside of the race course. Sebastian Kinder having to take the tow back into the pit area. Matt Wagner looks like he is able to drive his car back to the pit area. A little bit of Kona side there. Passing the injured machine of Sebastian Kinder. Wagner may be able to come out on the lead lap if he can hit his box cleanly. Yeah, he had the same issue Connor Baldwin had. Now he's got to try to get that car pointed in the right direction. And it looks like he will not get out ahead of the iRacing safety car. So Matt Wagner going to go at least one lap down here to the field. And there you see the numbers ticking up. We are going to overtime. Take a look here. Gonna be good on the time limit. 1 hour and 40 minutes is where this race will time out. But that should not come into play here. We're not going to spend that many laps under caution. And it will be only one attempt at the green-white checkered. So we're going to roll a commercial here on Twitch and on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. You do not want to miss the finish of the Grid Rival ESRA IndyCar Series here at Indianapolis. Welcome back to those of you watching on Twitch and those of you on YouTube. If you didn't get one of the, or if you got one of the skippable, non-skippable ads, whatever it is, welcome back. We are ready to go racing. It will be a green-white checkered shootout. Chris Wilhite has been the show here late in the race. He's made a high lane work that I don't know has ever worked here at Indianapolis. Nick Degroot, driving the motorsport.com, number 89, will lead the field back to the green flag. The number is 72, I believe, Team LMC. I'm sorry if I'm screwing the sponsor up there, Craig. The 72 with Craig Forsyth will restart in the second position. The 7 of Chris Wilhite will restart third. And at this point, the next flag will end it. When does Nick Degroot get on the loud pedal, and how well does Forsyth, Wilhite, Hobson, and Barry time the restart? Green flag back in the air. We're underway once again. Top 4 getting away from Barry in the 5th position. Wilhite going to hold to the inside. He'll build some speed up. Here comes A.J. Hobson looking to the outside. This is the one shot at a green-white checkered. One car hard into the inside wall. We'll see if that brings out a caution flag. Ty Richter having an issue. What a heartbreaker for Ty Richter, running up front for so much of this race. Craig Forsyth back around Nick Degroot. So far, we stay green. Hobson almost got it into the outside wall. A.J. Hobson's up to third. What can Nick Degroot do here on the final lap? White flag is out. 2.5 miles to go. Here comes Degroot to the inside into 1. Nick Degroot is there. Did he make the pass too early? A.J. Hobson gonna have a shot. Hobson almost got it into the outside wall. Degroot, Forsyth, nose to tail. Degroot gonna cover the inside lane into 3. Side by side for the race win. They're They're still side by side through turn 4. Nick Degroot, Craig Forsyth, drag race to the line. Who's it gonna be? It's Craig Forsyth. Nick Degroot comes home second by 2/100ths of a second. What a finish here at Indy. AJ Hobson, Chris Wilhite, and Mike Barry round out your top 5. Wow, what a finish. Show you this one in slow-mo. Capture it at the line. Call it half a car length for Craig Forsyth. Wow. What a show to wrap up the Grid Rival ESRA IndyCar Series here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That was insane racing down to the finish. I cannot wait to talk to Craig Forsyth and Nick Degroot about the finish of that one. Forsyth just on the good side of the bricks there, by the way. Well done for not leaving the tire rubber all over the yard of bricks. Let's show you your race results here this evening. Man, that was absolutely incredible. Craig Forsyth by 24 thousandths of a second over Nick Degroot. AJ Hobson will round out your podium. Chris Wilhite, Mike Barry, the top 5. 6 through 10, Benjamin Combs, Alec Coates, James Watson, J.W. Miller, and Jim Brooks. (11 to 15), Gary Corley, Lee Huber, Eric Schaus, Charles Teed, and Victor Aldrich. Cullen Johnston, Jason Hand, and Jeff Destino, the final cars to finish on the lead lap. Matt Wagner finishing 1 lap down, Ty Richter 2. Sebastian Kinder coming home 5 laps down in 21st. Connor Baldwin, TJ McMurray, Zach Evans, and Navarre Luce all going to be out of this race early. Just seeing a picture shared by Charles Teed that, well, it looks like his sim rig fell apart, which is what put him into the outside retaining wall on the exit of turn number 2. Tough break there, Charles. You had a fantastic run going tonight. Let's bring in our race winner for the Victory Lane interviews. My goodness, Craig Forsyth, what a show. Congratulations on picking up the win here at Indianapolis.
Oh my goodness, that was, wow. I said it was going to be an interesting 18 laps. It turned out to be an interesting 21. That was as close as I want to cut it on fuel. That's for sure. Wow.
Tight on fuel, and you got the run on Nick. I made the call that he had the lead into 1. Would he have it off of 4? Obviously he covered the inside lane into 3. You had nowhere to go but the outside. Did you think it was going to stick? And what did the thought process do from there?
I honestly wasn't sure. I hadn't made a pass on the outside the whole race, and I knew that was, I had to send it, didn't lift, and force him to stay low in both corners to try and compromise his speed. And I mean, Nick's a good racer. He's a clean racer, so I knew he wasn't going to drift up into me or anything like that.
And the finish of that one was incredible. How tight were you on fuel? I mean, you had enough to do the victory burnouts and donuts, but I would imagine you were probably pretty tight there.
I had about 2 corners of full fuel extra, which was enough to map 8 myself back around and do 4 donuts.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, the team players' throwback colors that went to Victory Lane here in 1995 look very nice going back to Victory Lane here tonight. Congratulations on that one. You got the number backwards to fit the league, but congratulations. Let's get all the sponsor thank yous and plugs in here before we let you go.
Yeah, thanks. It's good to keep the lights on over at Forsyth Racing, but got to thank the boys over at LMC Gear and the team I'm in with the Dark Horse Indy guys. It was a good result. It was a great result. So it couldn't have asked for any more, especially with such a nice tight finish. I admit I would have rather it just stayed green the whole way, but if to still win in the end makes me happy.
Yes, and you did the Indianapolis 255 here to throw back to that 1995 race as well. So congratulations once again, Craig. And let's bring in a guy that I almost want to say I'm gutted for here. Nick, that race was incredible. You were up front the entire time. The motorsport.com number 89 was pretty darn spectacular tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I love this track. Anytime, anywhere, I'll run this track in an IndyCar. It's so fun to drive. I've always had great success here, and just going into this race, I was extremely confident. Thought we might get the pole and the win, but we got second and second. So one spot too low on both of those. But it was a great race, great running with guys like Craig and AJ and Chris. They're really clean guys, really good hard racing, and yeah, it was a really awesome race all around up front.
I made the call that you had the lead going into 1. Would you have it off of 4? And I'm pretty sure you did. Would you change anything in hindsight about where you made that pass, how you made the pass? You knew the slingshot was going to be available to you. It really was just a matter of timing, I guess.
In hindsight, I don't defend the bottom there. I give him the lead down the backstretch, which is really hard to do when you're leading with half a lap to go. But in hindsight, I should have done that so I could have the run through 3 and 4 and get him coming at the line. It would have been real close, but I think I could have got him with the run. But the way I did it, he got up next to me, and we both just kind of stalled out, and we were next to each other through 3, 4 down the front stretch. And because he's on the outside, he had the momentum. Well, I'm just trying not to get loose on the bottom. So it was over in turn 4. I knew it. In turn 4, I'm like, just don't hit him, Nick. Just don't run up into the side of him. But at that point, I knew the race lost. But I was hoping maybe I could just lean on his side pod a little bit going down the front stretch, maybe slow him down a little bit. But no, it didn't work out. But 24 1,000s, it was still pretty close.
Yeah, fantastically close finish. And once again, you guys that are the not regulars, the interlopers, whatever we want to call you, you guys put on a heck of a show here at the front. What's the schedule look like for the rest of the season, and when do we see you back here in the Grid Rival ESRA IndyCar Series?
Well, I expected to be able to do that Pocono race, and I ended up having to miss that. So I can't be certain, but anytime you guys are at a track that's a mile and a half or larger, I'm going to try to be there. I can't guarantee it, but I'm going to try.
Yeah, those real-world commitments seem to get in the way sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on a fantastic podium finish tonight here, Nick. Let's get the sponsor plugs and thank yous out of the way here before we let you go.
Yeah, as always, thank you to Factory Back Motorsports, motorsport.com, CobyMoore.com, Blaze Pods, Degroot Automotive, U-Haul and Detailing, Cowboy Shit, and everybody else supports this team. And, of course, congrats to Craig. It was awesome working with him, and great racing with him as always in Indy. We've had a few good battles here, so that's not the first time we've had a photo finish at the line. So I look forward to the next one with them. Hopefully I can be on the other end of it.
All right, Nick, thank you very much. We appreciate it here, bud. And let's bring in our third place finisher tonight, the guy who had the best view of this spectacular finish tonight, AJ Hobson. We're going on board with you here down the backstretch in the slow-mo. What were you thinking when you saw these two guys battling as hard as they were for the lead over those last couple laps?
I was kind of hoping they might take each other out and I could squeeze out of here with a win, but it was definitely a very entertaining finish. I got probably one of the best restarts I've ever had here on that green-white checkered and made it stick on the outside. But on that last lap, I almost hit the turn 2 wall, and kind of lost some momentum, so I wasn't really able to get one last run at it. But it was definitely a good finish. Got the heart rate pumping.
Yeah, this was one of those deals that 4 of the top 5 started right within that top 5, top 10 range. You gained 4 spots tonight. It seemed like it was not easy to gain spots, though. As much as it was easy to pass theoretically, it seemed like it was a lot of back and forth, and gaining positions was really difficult.
Yeah, I'd say the hardest part was if that guy you were passing kind of wanted to make it challenging for you on the outside, honestly, it benefited him more than the guy on the bottom because, you have to lift so you don't wash up and take the other person out. And sometimes it's not worth making that move early on in the race, so you just kind of ride around in a line. But it ended up, I don't even know what to say. It ended up being a good race, sitting back and saving a little bit there, so I had enough to go at the end and didn't have to pit for fuel.
Yeah, you finished third by 26 hundredths of a second here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Got to feel pretty good. Congratulations on really a spectacular run here tonight. Let's get the sponsor plugs and thank yous in before we let you go.
I'd just like to thank Alec for all the work he does with ESRA. I don't really run this league too much, but every time I do, it's good fun, and you guys do a good job up here in the booth, and I can't wait to do another one with you guys.
All right, bud. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate those kind words. Fantastic paint job, by the way. Love the Clausen Marshall-esque 63 on that one. Man alive, that was absolutely outstanding here tonight. We could not have asked for more. And we're going to get, well, quite frankly, even more coming up here in about 15 minutes or so as the Indy Pro 2000 official series heads to Bathurst, a pack race with a trip up and down the mountain in the middle. I cannot wait to see what the PM18s do here down at Bathurst and up on the mountain there in South Australia. That one's going to be fun. This one's going to be hard to top, though. Anytime you put the Indy cars on the oval at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it makes my heart feel good. And the Grid Rival ESRA INDYCAR Series drivers did that justice here tonight. An absolutely incredible show. But with that, we are getting out of here until we come back at 10:15. Don't forget, coming up on Saturday, it will be the 100-lap battle at the Bullring, real-world racing action for 600 micro sprints. That show is going to be awesome. Airport, a fantastic little layout. We can't wait to bring it to you. But until then, for everybody here at the National Racing Network, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. We'll see you soon here with the PM18s.